Hey guys, sorry, I was kind of MIA. I've been insanely busy and may have gotten in way over my head with beta reading stuff. So we're gonna do a quick video just because I've got to get a video up. I was gonna do one that I have all scripted, but it's gonna take much longer to do properly. So today we're gonna do just kind of an impromptu what I've learned so far in my first week of getting beta reading stuff going. The first thing I've learned is that when recruiting betas, I had way more luck on Facebook by going to beta reading Facebook groups and recruiting people. I tried recruiting on YouTube and I got a couple of my subscribers to agree to tolerate my writing. Thank you guys rock. I tried going on Twitter. I got one person to be interested. Thank you to that person. But the numbers weren't rolling in and I was kind of panicking, thinking I'm gonna be lucky if I get 5 people to do this, and I was really aiming for 10 or maybe just a smidge more just so that I had a buffer in case I lost a few people along the way. And I watched Jenna Moressi's video on how to get beta readers, and it mentioned going on Facebook groups. So I was like, I guess I'll try that. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 more people that way. Oh my gosh, by going on there, I had 20 people within the first day being like, I'd be interested in doing this or trading work with you. So the first thing I learned is that going on the beta reading groups seems to be a lot more effective for me at this point with the size of my platform for finding people to do this, because I found some wonderful people. The second thing I've learned in this short period of time I've been doing the beta reading process, because I'm not done yet, is that I have no organizational skills whatsoever. I thought I did, and I do not. It's coupled with the fact that I don't know how to use Google Docs properly. I thought it was easier and or different than it was. I thought I could BCC people, so blind carbon copy people on the same document so that they wouldn't be able to see each other's comments or each other's names, because that's kind of a privacy thing. I don't want all my betas being able to see each other and stuff. That's not really what they're signing up for. I don't want them to have to see other people and know that other people are seeing their names and what their comments are or anything, in case anybody disagreed on anything, got in a comment battle or some nonsense like that. I don't want that. So I've been trying to send each individual person their own individual Google Doc, and that turned into a mess very quickly when I had all these things where people were saying they didn't have access when I had already shared access with them, so I didn't know what was going on and why. And anyway, it wasn't very organized from the get-go. So I learned that I'm not very organized as far as that. I'm getting organized, however. I just figured out how a better system to do, which I will share with you after my beta reading process, provided that system works out. I don't want to give you systems I figured out and then find out later they didn't work at all for some horrible reason. So I will share my perfected beta reading organizational system, I can't talk this evening, with you at the end of this whole endeavor, but not right now. The third thing I learned is that some people can dish it, but they sure as hell can't take it. I don't have people leaving me left and right with this issue, at least not so far, but I did have one person who will remain nameless, and I'm not going to go into the huge details, but basically they gave me nothing but negative feedback on my documents, which is fine, because if they're catching mistakes and that's all they're catching, great. But seeing as I haven't had that issue with other beta readers, I think they're just kind of focusing on just where the problems are, and that I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a 70-30 split, compliment sandwiches if possible. But I was like, whatever, that's fine. In fact, that saves me having to go through a bunch of stuff where it's just LOLs, that was great, whatever. I got plenty of that from other people, so I know where the funny parts are, that's fine. I didn't take any of it personal. They were professional in their comments and stuff, but it was literally nothing but negative comments. On their document, I had probably about 98% positive stuff where I was just giving them, I love this, this is really interesting how I did this, and then I had one thing where I'm like, I'm sorry, but I hate this part, and here's why. I cited my reasons why so that I was still giving good, useful feedback and stuff, but they did not take that very well, and I guess they took it a little bit personally. Maybe I didn't phrase it as politely as I could have, and maybe I could have been more tactful. But anyway, we ended up agreeing to politely and professionally go our separate ways, that we weren't going to enjoy each other's work. So anyway, that was that. I've had one of those now, so I've gotten one of those out of the way. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. I thought it was gonna end up being like a whole big, oh my gosh, oh no, they hate me type thing. But we actually just like politely agreed. It's like, yeah, I don't think we're meshing really well. We're gonna just kind of like say goodbye, good luck with your project, and have a good day type thing. Anyway, so I learned that that's a thing. That's kind of another thing involved with this, but some people like are perfectly happy to give you nothing but negative feedback, but then even if you give them tons and tons of positive feedback to cushion the negative feedback, like they still don't like the negative feedback and they get a little hurt by it. The fourth thing I learned is that in the future, I will not indiscriminately say, hey, calling all betas, I'd love to exchange work with you, because I ended up with like 5 people right off the bat who wanted to exchange work. And after I had 2 people at once that were exchanging work with me, where I was expected to read their work and they were reading mine in return, I realized that that is way overloading me. I can't do that many at once. To put it in perspective, this past Saturday, I was up at 5 a.m. I immediately went in and started working on my computer. And at this point, I think I had 3 people that I was beta reading for in return for their beta reading. But I was up at 5 a.m. I didn't go to bed till 10. I had about a 3-hour period in the middle of the day where I went to my writing group with my writing buddies. Literally all the rest of the day was me spent going over their documents, reading them and putting comments and all that jazz. And I got, like, I think the last half hour of the day I got to spend on some of my own writing stuff. So it was just so much, and I had no idea that it was gonna be that much work. So in the future, I will keep in mind to maybe max out at 2 people where I'm exchanging work at that time, and maybe with other people say, you know what, I would love to exchange work with you. I just can't do yours right now because I'm overloaded, but as soon as I'm done with my own beta reading thing, if you still need beta readers for a different round or something, I am more than happy to basically kind of give you an IOU or something. So I've learned that I'm not Superwoman, and I cannot do more than maybe 2 people's beta reading at a time in exchange for beta reading of my own. The 5th thing I've learned, and this is the next to last thing because I'm kind of doing this impromptu, and I'm just trying to think of things as I go, but the 5th thing I learned is not to start the beta reading process before you're done with the entire book. You have it as polished as you possibly can get it, including line edits of your own editing. And don't start it when you still have 5 chapters to write. Because let me put it this way, I haven't gotten anything of those 5 chapters written yet. I've got the last 5 chapters outlined. I know exactly what's going to happen in them, but there's no words on the page, and I'm not getting any words on the page because I'm so busy with all the beta reading stuff. I was under the impression from other people's YouTube videos that when you're doing beta reading, you kind of make the section beta things, and then you just send them off, and then there's a lot of twiddling your thumbs. And that has not been the case, because you're also beta reading for other people in exchange and stuff, which I had neglected the fact that this is just way so much stuff on my plate. Plus on top of my like 50 to 60 hour work weeks that I'm trying to do right now. It's a lot. So I've learned that unless I have all this stuff prepped before I start beta reading, like seriously set up the files, set up my beta reading mailing list, which by the way is something we'll talk about later. When I'm done doing the beta reading process, I will go through how I organize my beta readers and figure out who sent me what and what I've sent back, and the exchange work where I am on their stuff and all that jazz. We'll go over that later. But also prepping the beta reading packets, because right now I'm prepped through beta packet 3, and I've got a couple of people who are on my beta packet 2. I still got to do my 4 through whatever, and I'm just like biting my nails like, how am I gonna get all these made? And then also finish writing the last 5 chapters. I'm gonna have to do some word sprints. I'm gonna do like 2 20-minute word sprints tonight, but I also gotta read the 3rd chapter of one of my peoples tonight. and I want to make sure I do a good job for them because they've been doing an awesome job for me, and that's just only fair. Now, the sixth thing, the sixth thing I've learned, and this is gonna be the last thing because this is kind of impromptu, and I gotta get a video up, and I want it to have like some substance and use for people who might watch it. But I don't have a lot of time tonight because I gotta get back to reading other people's stuff and writing my own stuff. But the last thing I've learned so far in the short period of time I've been doing this beta reading thing is that there are some really awesome people out there, and that getting involved in finding your beta readers will introduce you to some very cool people. There are a couple of people specifically who I literally just sent packets to today, and they've already both gotten through my first chapter, which is amazing, and both of them happen to have exactly the kind of comments that I was looking for and stuff. And they're interesting people. Like, I kind of like checked out their Facebooks before I agreed to send them their packets. I'm like, these people look awesome. I want to know these people. I just want to be friends with these people. I had that for a couple of my other beta readers that I met too, but specifically these ones today are kind of blowing me away. Anyway, if any of my subscribers on here signed up to beta read for me, I'm not gonna nag you, just so you know, if you haven't already gotten to it. I'm not gonna give you a hard time. After about a week, I'll probably shoot you an email just to make sure that the files got through to you okay, since I was having problems with people saying they didn't have access, even though I gave them access, and Google Docs was just being a brat and being like, hey, you know how this person shared this with you? Well, you don't have access, even though she gave you access. Anyway, we're not going to keep talking all night because this is already turning into a long video. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you're having a great evening, and I hope you're slightly less stressed and crazy and pulling your hair out than I am. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye-bye.